Okay, so apparently I said yellow thread. It's a yellow bobbin case. I apologise. So I would put that in the bobbin to tighten my bobbin thread when I'm doing machine embroidery or work like this. So now pretend we have finished our design and you choose a lining fabric, and I've chosen this K facet fabric from my stash. What I'm going to do, what I have done, is I have put a Vliza Fix type product on here. This one here is actually Vliza Fix, and this one here is it is, let me just think about it for a minute. The other one, excellent. It'll come to me in a minute, as you know it always does. So what I'm going to do is I am going to pretend this is all done. I'm going to iron this on here very lightly because I'm just going to do this end because I have to finish that end. I'm going to put this on here and I'm just going to fuse that really, really lightly on there to show you how to do the edge. Okay? So this side I can iron because that's going to be finished off. So that is fused on. So yeah, I think it's, yeah, it'll come to me. I am going to satin stitch around here, but it doesn't have a lot of body, so it'll make it move a little bit. So on the first round of satin stitching, you can actually put tear away. The second round, you will take it off. So I'm going to use my yellow bobbin case. I'm going to put bright orange in my bobbin. And I am going to choose my satin stitch and then decide what colour I want on the top. Oh, that's right, I'm going to do orange, I've decided, top and bottom, because I'm going to use my fancy thread later on. So let's have a look how this turns out. No idea, but we'll give it a go. You could put a layer of something firmer inside if you want a firmer finish. All right, so I'm just going to find my end. And I'm going to clear everything because I've got all sorts of things happening. And I'm going to choose my satin stitch, which is in my patchwork designs. And I'm going to make it about 6 millimeters wide. So if you have got a machine that goes to 5.5, do the first run around 5 millimeters. Now I ended up going around mine 3 times to fill it in because I liked that look. Put your needle foot up when you're threading that so that it goes through your tension unit, and I had it down, and you're going to leave your open toe foot on. I have got my stitch length on only 3 because I'm satin stitching. Alright, now you watch what happens here. So I'm going to leave this on to start off with, and I'm just going to go down here to show you. So I'm going over the raw edge, and you've seen me do this before, but I'm just adding a little bit more to it this time, as you do. So I'm just satin stitching down, and I'm going over the edge. And when you see it's not really filling it in enough, so that's why I'm going to go over it again. So that is once. Can you see? You can still see your thread, right? So now I'm going to take my tear away and tear it away from there. And tear it away from here because I've now got that stable, and I'm going to stitch over that again. It'll go over the tear away, and I'm going to make it slightly wider. I'm just going to go to 6.3 and it's going to go wider. Yep, I need to come this way a little bit. That's better. And I'm using very fine thread. Very silky embroidery thread, and my open toe foot. And I go, oh yeah, that's all right, but I can still see a bit of my tearaway. I didn't use tearaway on my one, by the way. I'm just showing you how you can make it stable. And it looks a bit messy, so then you go over it again. If you don't use the tearaway, firm up your fabric, but this time I'll go really slow, and this is my third run. I'll keep the width the same, and I'll make sure I don't pull or push my work at all. Now it starts to look better. Amazing. It's going to have another row of stitching over this, believe it or not, because I've gone crazy with my stitching. I love it. So I'm just letting the machine do all of the work. So that's 3 rows of satin stitching. Why not? You can. Oh, that looks so much better. So much better. Now, I decided after that I was going to do a triple blanket stitch on the inside. So what I did, I chose my colour that I want for my triple blanket stitch, and I'm going to use lime green because it all's going to matchy. So I'm going to get my lime green thread, and I'm going to put it onto my triple blanket stitch, which is back where I was, triple one, and I'm going to make it really wide and really long. So I've gone out, I'll go out to 5.5 width, and I'll go to 5 length. Let's see what that looks like, and I'll hang on, clear it, take it off single pattern so I can see. I'm going to go out to 5 width, and I'm going to go to 4.5 length. Cool. Oh, take your thread out. Leave the orange underneath because it's going to look cool against the fabric anyway on the inside because it's nice and bright and colourful. And try it on a scrap piece before you do it on your actual project, because you might find that you don't like it. Okay, get all your threads out of the road because this will be completely sewn all around in a circle. Now watch. So I'm going to run my right hand needle down my row of satin stitching that I've finished. So I'm going to line up my foot, move it over a little bit. That's better. And now I'm doing a triple blanket stitch on the inside. Now that's moving with this foot. The foot's actually moving it over, so I'm not going to use that foot because it's pushing it to the left. Okay, so I'm going to put on my ordinary 1D, possibly, yep, 1D foot, and see if that helps, because that was pushing it over. Now remember what I do with these? I just go like that to bring my thread underneath. That was interesting. So I'll actually undo that. These are great, these little snips, because I've got a real sharp point on them. That was interesting. So that was really, really pushing it to one side. In fact, I could actually put tearaway behind here because I've already finished my edge. Right, I'm going to go pattern begin, start at the right hand side, bit of tearaway under there to help it. And now I've got my foot that is not so open. That's better. Already I can feel it better. Nice and slow. So I have got my stitch going on the inside of my satin stitch. That's cool. So you can have a little bit of fun with this. Then I decided that wasn't enough. So I choose another thread and I did a triple zigzag over top of my satin stitch. Why, I have no idea, because I just did. Can you see that's starting to come out really nice? Oh, I like the combination. Like the combination. That looks cool. Do you know what's even cooler? I'll take this off. See that tearaway's neat? Look how amazing it looks on the back. Because I've got orange and green thread, and it's made its own pattern on the inside. See how good that tearaways? It just pulls away. So then, actually, I would probably leave that one like that because I love it, but I'm not. I'm going to go right out there, and now I'm going to put hot pink through the middle. Maybe. Have I got hot pink of that thread? No, okay, I haven't. So I'm going to use, I thought I did actually. Oh, yep, I have. So I'm going to do hot pink on the edge, and it's going to tie that all in. So now I'm going back to my zigzag, my triple zigzag, and I want my zigzag to cover my satin stitch. Weird but true. And that is how you can have fun with your machine, and you can do, don't waste all that thread, Robin. There we go. Fun with your machine and play with colours. This foot's nice and big. It actually makes it not too bad to thread it through. Keep all your scraps. Make something out of it. A thread bowl or a applique for applique. Right, so now if you have a look, I am going to stitch over the orange satin stitch. So it's on 5 width. I'm probably going to have to narrow that down. And again, I would do a sample of this. So I've gone to 4.5, and I'm going to do the first little bit just to check it, to make sure that it's going over. Is that going to work? Nope. Stop. Hold everything. It's too wide. I'm going a little bit narrow. It needs to go onto the fabric, onto the satin stitch. Pull that out. Give that a little tug, but make sure you're not going to damage your stitch on it. Pull it out from this side. There we go. All right. Try that again. Yes. So now I'm going to try that again because I didn't like that. I'm going to go pattern begin. No. Okay. The reason why I don't want to go pattern begin, because the first one starts on the outer. So I'm going to mirror image it over, and I'm going to show you why. Oh, it was mirror imaged. I want my needle on the left so that it doesn't jam up because it's sewing onto nothing. Okay, so now it's on the left-hand side, and I mirror imaged it back because otherwise it's sewing onto nothing for the first stitch and it will jam up. So I'm starting in my fabric. Can you see that? So that was the problem. So in my fabric, and it needs to be a lot longer. It's too close. And it's very thick. See how it's thick? It was too close. Take it out, undo it, start again. Let's try that again. Pattern begin. So you've just got to get your stitch length so it's right. No, doesn't like it. So that particular thread, for some reason, did not like it. Now let's go through all this again. What happens if you get a jam? You will get the cogs up on your machine. You do not pull anything. Cut your thread above the needle. Take your bobbin case out and your shuttle system, if you can get it out without looking. Here we go. There's my thread. Here's my shuttle. Take it out. Lift your foot up. Pull it out, and everything comes out. All right? Do not yank it. And I'll tell you why. Because inside here, where your cutter goes, you have all these pieces that cut like this, and if you go yanking it, you can bend those pieces. So please be very, very careful. Then you can tell the machine, yes, you've unjammed it. You can put your hook back in. I'll just see where my bits and pieces are. Turn this so it's up the right way. Make sure there's no thread jammed in there, and then pop this bottom end in first. And just, because I can't get down there to see right this second, I just turn it around till I can feel that it's clicked in. I usually don't look, I just let it click in itself. There we go. And then put your plate back on, your foot back on, and that thread was just no good for that. Interesting, because I've done it before, but maybe I didn't use the thick thread for that. So I'm going to cut that off, and I'll show you what I'm going to do. that didn't work for that thick thread on the edge of that particular one. So here's what I'd do. I'd unpick that, take that out, make sure you've got all your little threads out, and I'm still going to, because I'm stubborn, I'm still going to do the triple stitch, but I'm not going to use that thick thread. I'm going to find a thread that's finer. Here's a hot pink. Oh, I cut my thread, didn't I, the wrong way. Very carefully take that out because I cut my thread the wrong way. And I'm going to use this hot pink. So this is a fine thread. It's an embroidery thread. And I'm going to use that as my triple zigzag on the edge. So if it doesn't work, just take it out, try another thread. And remember, always do samples first. And remember, if you want to thread that through, just put your foot through there, through your needle, pull your thread down, wherever it is, and pop it back up. Now I'm going to, have I got my bobbin back in? No, put my bobbin back in. I'm going to leave the orange thread on the bottom because it'll look cool. Cut my thread, and I'm going to sew on a bit of tear away to make sure that's going to work first, my sample. One, two, three, 1, 2, 3. Stop with my needle on the left. Perfect, that's going to be good. So now I can go on the edge of this, pattern begin, needle on the left. Let's see how we go this time. So see, this is nice and fine. You can go a little bit wider. Once you get going, I just like it because it's different. Okay, so don't use your thick thread on that. It really doesn't show up enough, it looks red. So I'll cut this off anyway, but I'm just showing you that wasn't a good choice because you want it really vibrant so you can show it up. So when I did this one, it's all about the colours. So I did hot pink, I did turquoise, and I did lime green, and it shows up really, really well. Now on the inside of your pouch, what you can do, you can either use pinking shears to cut the edges of your satin, or, ooh, what did I do with it? Or you can get a blade. Oh, bother, I've put it down somewhere. Or you can get a blade that's a pinking blade. I got it down to use it off my wall and now I can't find it. So you can get a pinking blade that is all like this, very serrated, but I don't know where I've put it down in my clean sewing mess. No, it's not in there. So I've put it down somewhere, so I apologise for that because I can't show you. But that's what I was going to use around here because I thought it'd be cute. So I'll leave these ones flat because I can't find it. And you lay them this way so that the notes tell you exactly where to lay them. You lay them so when you fold it, you're going to see all your layers, okay, like this. So you've got all your layers, so when you see it, you'll see them there. When you put it inside here, just go like that. You find your centre, that's going to be around that way. You find your centre, you lay them so that it looks right for you. That will go there. Yep, that looks good. Get your centre, line it all up, draw a line, open it out, and you can stitch right through that centre line to hold it, and that's all you do to finish off your needle and thread tidy. So it will fold like mine has done here. So you see, it's not very exciting when it's just cut. It looks much better when you have pinked it or you find your tool to use it. So I think they're really, really nice. Also in your notes, you have got this cute little owl to make, and he's supposed to have a base on there and be stuffed. But the ladies thought this would be really cute to make for Easter and put an Easter egg inside it. And he could just sit with an Easter egg inside it. So that's a little owl pattern you've been given. It's a free pattern online. And you'll notice I've used my fancy stitches on here as well. And the other free pattern you've got is something totally off the ball. This is a makeup wipe. So you just get a piece of cotton fabric, a piece of toweling or an old towel, and make yourself some makeup wipes. So you wipe your makeup off and they throw in the washing machine. Now this stops you buying disposable ones that aren't good for the environment. You can make these a square or anything, and you can use either your 100% cotton toweling on the outer, 100% cotton fabric on the inside, but if you might like the microfiber fabric, you could use that on the inside. So these are a great little thing to make. They literally take a couple of minutes. If you do not want to turn them through, you could simply get your pinking shears and you could just stitch them around in a circle and cut them around. Okay? So yeah, a little bit random, but something extra to add to your notes this month. So you've got your miler and the idea of doing that. And by the way, this here, this is a free pattern online when you buy the miler products from Sweet Pea Embroidery. So when I bought it, I got this free pattern and I could stitch it out. So when you buy a whole pack, you actually get a free pattern. All right, so we have got a whole lot of packs coming. So you can, if you do machine embroidery, you can get a free pattern with that. Okay, so there you go. So I hope you've enjoyed it and you have a little bit of fun with your wool applique, or you want to make a cute little owl. It's a lot of fun, and don't forget that these beautiful Italian 12 weight threads is what I've used to embellish my product today. So have a good week, have a good month actually, and I will see you in April. See you later.